Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan. Welcome, guys. Today is not the normal live stream day. So I actually put it in red today. My name is Zakir Zaman. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Yesterday, unfortunately, I was unable to attend. So I thought to myself, you know what? I've gotta do a live stream today. Plus, there's quite a lot of questions on Curious Cat that I have to answer. So, me being who I am, yeah, Liaqat Zaman, I'm going to answer them all, inshallah ta'ala. Right, so shall I do Instagram? I think today I'll leave Instagram because Instagram people will think I normally just come on Saturday. So, I think I'll just leave them out for now. Right, so عليكم السلام شيماء أهلا وسهلا أنا بخير كيف أنت؟ كيف كان يومك؟ يومي كان جميل جدا الحمد لله أنا كنت ركبت السيارة دراجة نعم الحمد لله واسترحت نعم كتبتي صحيحا ما شاء الله. It's good. You practicing Arabic is the only way that you're going to improve. And this is generally just a general rule for students anyway. A lot of students just think attending a lesson is enough for them to understand everything. You have to write things down. You have to practice and come out with your own answers to understand it fully. Walaikum assalam. Mullah, ahlan wa sahlan. Ahlan wa sahlan, my brother Muhammad Mullah. What's happening in Blackburn Sharif? All right, so let's get on with these questions and let's just check out your Curious Cat questions. And as usual, guys, if you guys want to ask questions here, you can ask questions here. Or if you guys want to ask questions on Curious Cat, you can ask Curious Cat questions, inshallah. Alhamdulillah, ana bi khair. Na'am, learning from the best, inshallah. Alhamdulillah. Right. So, Reen Ami wa alaikum assalam. My ustad dropped the bomb on us today saying he expects us only to speak Arabic with him 2 months from now. MashaAllah, bro. That's the kind of ustad you need. Regimental ustad. Yeah, that's it. Regimental ustad you need. Alhamdulillah. So how's your Arabic going so far? So is it lessons once a week? How does it work? All right, let's check out some of the questions then over here. So, where do we start from? Okay, so right, let's start from. Okay, Mufti Sahib, what is the ruling of an adult drinking breast milk? So, according to the Hanafis, adults drinking breast milk is not allowed, impermissible. Not because the breast milk is impure. Breast milk is not impure, but because it's considered to be part of a human being, and the rule is you're not allowed to take any sort of like benefit from a human body. You can't consume any part of a human, like eat it or except for a baby, and that's been the exemption has been given for a child in the Quran. So you can't use human hair, you can't use human skin, you can't use human bones or anything that comes out. Is breast milk considered najas? Pak is pak. As if in one spells, yes, it's considered clean. Right. Wa alaikum assalam, NS. Ahlan wa sahlan, my brother NS. Reen Army, where do you teach, Ustad? I teach at a place called Asufa Institute in Birmingham. How's your car now? Alhamdulillah, car is back, mashallah. It's driving nicely. I just drove it now. I went to my parents' house. Alhamdulillah, drove it, and it just seems to be very, very nice and smooth at the moment. Alhamdulillah. Every Sunday morning, you guys have lessons. Yeah, excellent. Then that's it now. And Mullah, you are going to have to speak with me in Arabic now. That's it. If your teacher says in 2 months, that's it. You have to speak with me in Arabic. And the best thing, if you really want to kind of push yourself in Arabic, you need to have, like a group, a WhatsApp group or something where you just speak Arabic with each other. Get a few guys in your class, get them together and just have Arabic banter going on. Okay, so let's just answer this. Not drinkable for adults, according to the Hanafi school. Right. Okay, Mufti, I have a question. If a child is born to Muslim parents, he is considered Muslim by default as long as he doesn't say anything to nullify the kalima. And if his mum is Muslim but dad isn't, then the child has to say the kalima as an adult to be considered Muslim. Or no? So the rule basically is the child follows the religion of the best of the parents. So whichever religion of the parents is the best, Islamically, the courts will recognize the child as that faith. So as long as one of the parents is Muslim, the child is automatically recognized as Muslim in the courts. Obviously, when it comes to the Day of Judgment, that's a different matter. So hereafter, a person would have to acknowledge Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be a Muslim. So if a child is born in a Muslim family, he doesn't acknowledge anything part of Islam, then that child won't necessarily be a Muslim. Yeah. So in other words, to be a Muslim, you have to acknowledge the fundamentals of Islam. So when the child grows up, they'll have to acknowledge the fundamentals of Islam to be considered a Muslim. A child follows the better religion of the parents from in an Islamic country. So if one of the parents is Muslim, then the courts recognize him as Muslim. Right. So I told you this, only one of us can drive a car at any given time. Mine is at the garage getting the gearbox fixed, inshallah, for sure. Alhamdulillah, I've got a head start because of 17 lessons. Alhamdulillah. MashaAllah. May Allah put barakah in your car. I read your post on your car. Unfortunately, your insurance company thought that you're driving the car around, yeah? Alhamdulillah. May Allah put barakah in your studies, bro. Can you repeat the Hanafi argument against the hadith which allows combining prayers outside of travel? Is it in case of uzr? So, can you repeat? Can I repeat it? I don't think I mentioned it. So what's the exact question? Can you repeat the Hanafi argument against the hadith which allows? So if you can clarify your question, please, Anis. Shamsun wa alaikum assalam wa barakatuh. If a couple have two daughters and they have some wealth which they have decided to distribute among the two daughters during their lifetime and not to any others, is this Islamically permissible? Yes, it's permissible. I mean, ideally, a person should not do it in such a way that it causes the family to become sort of like jealous of them. So the Prophet ﷺ, he said that a parent should not treat one of the children with a gift unjustly or unfairly. And that basically means that if a person has many children, then they should always remember that other children most likely will feel hurt if you were to give only one child or two children. So legally, it's fine. I mean, if you're going to give it to two daughters only and you're not going to give it to the rest of the children, that's fine. But it's not considered the best thing to do. Always try to remember, maintain harmony in the family as well. So it's fine. It's allowed. Wa alaikum assalam, my brother Muhammad Ibrahim. Ahlan wa sahlan, mashallah. Long time no see, bro. Long time no see. Hope you're well. What's the best books on Tazkiyatun Nafs? Quran. The Quran is the best book on Tazkiyatun Nafs. Tazkiyatun Nafs basically means you want to identify the faults inside of you so that you become a better person. If a person reads the Quran with contemplation and sound mind, they will definitely see an improvement in themselves. And that goes for any book, in fact. If you're going to read any book with the intention that you want to become a better person, that book can become a tazkiyatun nafs for you. But obviously, the Quran is of the highest level. If you really want to improve yourself, you need to have a mentor in anything in life. You know, you'll go to the gym, you want to improve your health, your fitness. You can do it yourself if you want, but that's going to be a slow process. You can do it with a specialist trainer. And likewise, the Prophet ﷺ was the best spiritual trainer for the Sahaba radiallahu anhum. Your teacher, you study by, that's a person who is considered to be the best. So I would say definitely nothing can replace a human being. A human being is always going to be the best mentor. Any books on the internal thinking Salah? I don't know. Good to see you after a long time. Ameen, Ameen, Jazakallah khair, Muhammad Rahim. May Allah keep you blessed and protected. Ali Mahmoud, any sources to find a hard copy of Quran transliterated in English? Unfortunately, I don't know. If anyone knows to help Brother Ali, if you can find a transliterated Quran, then please put a link up in the bottom. Ahlan wa sahlan. I've done Sarf Nahu for the last 3 years. What books would you recommend for conversational Arabic? So you've got a choice. So conversational Arabic, again, it requires a teacher. Very hard to study on your own. Right? Very, very hard. You got Arabiya Bayna Yadayk, which is a very popular choice. You've got the Medina books, although it's not really conversational, but you can make it conversational. Those are the two kind of ones that I would say that are probably ones that you can use. There's also like Tariqat al-Asriya, which is also a very good conversational one, basic. I studied that. So those are your choices there. But ideally, you need to study it from someone. The hadith in which the Prophet ﷺ combined prayers while in Medina, is it in Tirmidhi? Oh, yes. So Imam Tirmidhi himself said no Sahaba ever acted on this hadith. So that tells you itself that hadith is not meant to be practiced. There must have been some reason why the Prophet ﷺ did it, but the reason why no Sahabi ever acted upon it. Yeah. So basically, if Imam Tirmidhi says no Sahabi acted upon it, and no one in the four madhabs really takes this hadith, so that's it. So that should answer your question. Is it still legally correct if the reason they're doing it is because they don't want others to receive inheritance? I mean, you can give all your wealth before you die to other people, to your family is fine. And, if you want to leave nothing behind, as long as you make them owners whilst they're alive, you have to give it to them and they have to become the owner of it. You can't say, when I die, it's yours. No, you have to give it to them there and then. And if you don't want heirs to receive it, then that's fine. وإياك Reen, MY, wa alaikum assalam. I was Imam for Asr when I got home after Isha. I found out that I bled from my arm at some time during the day. What do I do, Sheikh? Okay, so if you are, so look, according to Imam Shafi, if you cut yourself and you bleed, your wudu is fine. Wudu doesn't break. Now, Hanafi say that your wudu does break. However, because you don't know exactly what time it happened, if it is difficult for you to inform the people, the congregants, then it's fine. Just leave it. And inshallah, this salat will be okay. But if it happens next time, then make sure you inform them. Yeah. But for now, if it's difficult for you to be able to call them, to get hold of them, then inshallah, it should be fine. Yeah, because you didn't know when it happened. And therefore, there's a rule in fiqh which is al-yaqeen la yazulu bi-shak. And this is based upon the Sahibain's position. I have a question regarding Imam Rahimahullah. Shura for fiqh. I know there were 40 students he had, so was there 40 opinions? So this 40. So when they say Imam Hanifa had 40 students, did he have 40 students for every masala? That doesn't seem to be the case. What it means is overall in his life, we see that there were like 40 students like that were well known in his gatherings. So not all the time. So therefore, what that basically means is that the discussions not everyone would give their opinion. That's the thing. So discussions would revolve around certain individuals' opinions, and the ones that were recorded in the Imam Muhammad's books. So what I would suggest you do, Reen, is I've actually got an introduction to a book called Introduction to Hidayah, and in there I talk a bit about the compilation of the Hanafi school, and yeah, check that out, inshallah. Yeah, and there's also introduction of Quduri. I've also mentioned a bit about that as well. So when they say the 40, Imam Sheikh Zahid al-Kawthari in his book mentions about the 40, but it doesn't seem to me that at every single masala there was 40 people there. It just seems to be like a statement that was used generally. Okay, what's that? With regards to the question of gifting all the property to daughters during lifetime, would it still be okay if the father does it with the intention that the property doesn't go to others? Yes, you can gift anything you want in your lifetime. You are totally allowed to gift anything, anyone you want in your lifetime, whatever your intention is. Again, as long as it's not that sibling thing, like I said, right? It's totally permissible. If a person if you gift it to your daughters, and then they die before you, then obviously their heirs are going to receive, the share. Okay, sorry, I couldn't hear the name properly of the book. Arabiya Bayna Yadayk. Al Arabiya Bayna Yadayk. I'll write it down for you. Yes, it's called Al Arabiya Bayna Yadayk. It's 3-volume book. So how did you get in knowledge this level? I don't have that much knowledge. Honestly, I don't have that much knowledge. The thing is, you guys think I've got a lot of knowledge because, like, obviously, you guys are not really familiar with studying and reading on a day-to-day basis. My knowledge probably would be like, without exaggeration, it'd probably be maybe like 1%, 2%, 3% of what's out there. Like, that's exaggeration as well, because there is so much to learn. There is just literally so much information, knowledge. Yeah. So Jazakallah khair for thinking good of me. But it just takes a lot of time. So knowledge, one of the things Imam Abu Yusuf Rahimahullah used to say, knowledge will not give you anything until you give it all. Once you give it all of your efforts, you have to give it all your effort. And then knowledge will give you a small amount. That's how you can say miserly knowledge is. Yeah, it's very, very, it doesn't give. Are there any difference of opinion about what Idhan al-Am means for Jum'ah? If children disabled people are not allowed because health and safety certificates, does this negate Idhan al-Am? Are there different? I don't know about difference of opinions in other schools. Idhan al-Am seems to be something which later Hanafis have mentioned based upon what early Hanafis had said. So Idhan al-Am basically means that, see, Jum'ah is supposed to be something that's state-led. It's a state prayer. It's not meant to be an individual group prayer. The idea is supposed to be public. The state is the one that sets it up and then holds it, and then the public attend. The idea is Idhan al-Am simply means that the public have a right to attend Jumas. That's the whole point. So there has to be a large gathering. If it is a closed gathering and only a few people are allowed, that goes against the whole concept of a public event, right? So if it's public, it's not supposed to be private. You made it private now. That's the point, they say. But yeah, I mean, the Mufti Taqi Usmani talks about this idea in modern days prisons and other sort of similar institutes, and says that it is permissible in that sense because the number of people attending is a large number of people. Reen Army, are you friends with Sheikh Zain Mahmood? Yes, I actually work at the place that he's the head of. Yes, the place that he's the head of, I work there. I keep flopping my ibarat reading. Any advice? You know what? There's 2 reasons why people flop in their ibarat. Number 1 is because they were weak in their foundation. When they started, they didn't do very well, and now they've reached a level where they find it hard to improve. Number 2 is because they're still learning. They're in the beginning stages, right? So if you are weak, I would suggest do Quranic Arabic 17 lessons, £50 course. I've designed it specifically for this purpose, and inshallah, you'll benefit a lot. The second thing I'd advise to do is read storybooks, Arabic storybooks. Kids storybooks are the best ones, and just read through if kids can read it, then I'm sure adults can read it as well. That's my motto. Salam ahlan wa sahlan mubin. Can Juma khutbah give half in English and half in Arabic? Possibly. There's one opinion that allows that. Jazakallah khair. Question regarding raising hands for dua as Ahnaf behind a Shafi Imam. I mean, for Fajr Qunut, you mean, yeah? So there's 2 opinions here. One opinion is that you shouldn't, and the other opinion is you follow the Imam. I raise my hands, yeah, because it just kind of flows nicely with everyone else. Yeah, so today, this tea, what tea is it? Let me show you the tea. The tea is, that's the tea. Can you see it? Chamomile and vanilla. Okay, right. I have a question. If a child is born to a Muslim parents, he's considered okay. That answer already. A quick question: so how did the rules of Iddah apply to our modern day way of communicating, especially social media? Just recently, a very famous Pakistani journalist got killed, and his widow put lots. Pakistanis seem to make a lot of complication of a simple fiqh masala. Yeah, let me tell you that this is a rule you're gonna find. Pakistanis are good at making uh, basic things very very simple. So when it comes to Iddah, Iddah is only to do with remaining at home. It has nothing to do with communication at all. Remaining at home, that's it. Yeah, that's basically what it is. If a woman is widowed, she is allowed to leave the house to go for work and basic needs. That's it. Yeah. So this. So let me try this. To me, this just seems cultural understanding of Iddah. Iddah of a woman doesn't prohibit her from uh, communication. Yeah, so basically, Iddah of a woman. If a woman is Iddah in a Iddah, basically she's been divorced, then she has to stay at home. She can't leave unless it's a real dire need. If a woman is widowed, she is allowed to leave for work. If she has to go to work to earn, she's allowed to leave. In both cases, they're allowed to communicate. Communication is not prohibited. Assalamu alaikum. I prayed my Isha Salah and did not pray my witr as I planned to leave it for later in the night. I started my menses later in the evening before I was able to pray witr. Must I repeat the witr Salah once I present or do it? Wassalam. No need to make it up. So basically, the rule is that if a woman starts her menstruation, you look at the last moments of that salat. So in the last moments before the next salat starts, if she was in the state of menstruation, then she doesn't have to pray that salat. And if she was not in a state of menstruation, then she has to make up that salat. That's the simple rule. So because this lady, she was meant to pray witr, and then she menstruated in the last moments of the salat, therefore, she doesn't have to pray a witr. Witr drops from her. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته محمد صاحب كحال है मेरे भाई TikTok. Yeah, apologies guys. Yesterday I was actually at a talk. It was in remembrance of Mufti Rafi Usmani. It was a very nice event, mashallah. I don't know if any of you guys saw it on live. It was live streamed on YouTube as well. And there was like really kind of good insights into his life, and people who were very close to him were mentioning about were mentioning about his character and how he used to approach masail and fiqh. So it was a very big eye opener for me, because a lot of things I didn't know about him. Like I didn't know that he was a Hafiz of Quran. I found out. I didn't know Mufti Taqi Usmani was not a Hafiz of Quran, and I found that out as well. And it was like, if I had only known this before, I think sometimes, in a way, it's like obviously it's not really kind of possible. But I wish a lot of these memorial kind of events that take place in the life of a person. So imagine, for example, someone does like an event in the life of, let's say, a famous scholar, Mufti Taqi Usmani. People can then appreciate him more. They'll understand his contributions and how much sacrifice. And his grandson, Mufti Rafi Usmani's grandson, was actually saying that for so many years, Mufti Rafi Usmani was not even eligible to give zakat. Like he wasn't obliged to give zakat because he didn't have enough funds, personal funds. And so I was like, whoa, that was kind of surprising to me. Yeah, so yeah, it was nice. If you can watch it on YouTube, it'd be very good. I mean, let me see if I can find the link for it. Try to find the link if it's still live streamed. Oh yeah, it was actually, it's almost a 4-hour event. Yeah, that's the one. 4-hour event. So you guys can catch it over here. Mufti Rafi Usmani. event. Right. Sheikh, I just had the same tea. It's nice, isn't it? My cough still, guys. Ustad, who are you supporting in the World Cup? I'm supporting Qatar. We don't. What's up? I thought that was a very good question. Why some scholars write how? I think. See, I think about a lot. Of think about Pakistani people are very passionate about things in their life. They're very passionate. And sometimes that passion can just like spill too much, overspill in certain things. So they get a bit. The lines get blurred between being a bit balanced and a bit, passionate. So why some scholars write how long ago were the times of some prophets? Yeah, the biblical information. Yeah, this is just based upon. So this kind of stuff is just based upon like just reports that are not even like that strong. But because the scholars say these are based upon biblical reports, and as long as it doesn't go against Islam, it's okay to report. It's okay to say. But as long as we don't believe 100% that this was the case, if a non-Muslim becomes Muslim and they're married, what things are they to keep in mind? Do the rules differ for Riva Ismail? Do they have to separate? Yeah, so basically, if they're living in a Muslim country, if the man becomes a Muslim and the wife's still a Christian or a Jew, then they can live together. If the woman becomes a Muslim and the man's a Christian, then they basically, she will obviously have to tell the courts. The courts will call the husband, they'll explain Islam to him. If he wants to accept Islam, that is fine. Otherwise, they'll have to separate. If it's in a non-Muslim country, then usually what happens is the woman, she waits for 3 menstrual periods, and then she has to make a decision on whether she stays with the husband or not. So that's generally the rule about that. Yeah, about separation. I thought you can't talk to non-mahrams even if they come home. No, I've never read that in any fiqh book, unfortunately, so I wouldn't be able to comment on that. Okay. Sometimes among brothers, when something funny happens, we not grab the thigh of another. The thigh is obviously covered, but it's allowed because aura, and doing this with a female would not be okay. So basically, touching the aura without a cloth for a man is not allowed. If it's just like kind of slap and you're not kind of, kind of squeezing and, specifically detailed touching, then it should be okay. So if it's just like a slap, you slap someone on the thigh, then that should be okay. Shouldn't be like a major issue there, as long as it's not near the private parts. Sheikh, if a fast food place gave me drinks that weren't specified in the delivery order, do I have to inform them? If a fast food place gives you drinks and they haven't specified it, generally you ask them. It would be good to ask them and say, look, you've given me drinks. But if you think that they're okay with it, then it's fine. Sometimes a lot of these fast food restaurants, they don't really care. They're okay with it. Is saying Shahada a must for a person to convert to Islam? Not necessarily, no, but that's the way that the people will recognize that they're Muslim. Yeah, that's the way that they recognize that they become Muslim. So in an Islamic court, in order to identify as a Muslim, you would have had to prove you're a Muslim to say the Shahada. In your opinion, what was the golden age of Islam? Golden age. See, it depends what you mean by golden age. By golden age, do you mean the strongest Muslims became on earth? Is that the golden age? Golden age, does it mean the peak of their wealth or their technology, or does it mean the peak of the strength of the Muslims? It's difficult. This idea of golden age seems to be like a Western thing, isn't it? They come out with this word golden age. So unfortunately, sometimes what happens is Westerns come out with a phrase or a concept, and then Muslims feel as though they have to buy into that, or they have to try and conform with that particular phrase or concept. So I would say possibly it all depends. It's like really like patches of areas in history where you can almost say Muslims had multiple golden ages. So, for instance, like golden age in the time of Sahaba, obviously golden age in the time of the Ottomans, golden age in the time of the Spanish Muslims.
Imagine how that memorial would go. We gathered here to honor the woman of the Zaman. Allahu Akbar. He was a wonderful man and a great husband, by the way. He's still alive. You can go and meet him as well. You can go to his live streams. What if a woman becomes pure when she is at work and she has no possibility there of taking ghusl? What to do? Also, can she use tampons to get uh, pure earlier because that it would count as menstruation? No, so a priori, I think you need to learn the rules of menstruation because I have to explain a lot of things here, how tampons work and can they actually block menstruation or not. So in the gist, if she's at work and she can't take a bath, then she'll have to do qada of that salat. When she gets home, she takes a bath and she does qada of that salat. And obviously, if there's no water available, she can do tayammum. And the tampon issue that requires a longer discussion, longer explanation. But in a gist, no. I used to be told if someone sees you naked, your wudu breaks. Yeah, that's another famous thing I used to hear, like a lot in Pakistan. Relatives ask, I don't know where they get it from. And then if you're in itikaf, someone sees you or you speak, it breaks your itikaf. Wa alaikum assalam, ahlan wa sahlan, muta'allima, ahlan wa sahlan, welcome. A priori, can you show exactly which part of the feet is not to be covered in ihram? It's meant to be, so imagine your foot. It's meant to be. So if you actually watch my video, I've actually explained in my Kuduri videos. Shukr, I've got my Kuduri videos. Yeah, I've shown exactly which part. It's the lace. It's the lace bone. Yeah, so the lace bone. Haram. Let's see the rules of haram. Yeah, so check this video out. In this video, ihram rules. Okay, let's check out some. Right, in it, Nafal itikaf, and at the end of Ramadan, can one sit 21, 25 Ramadan, for instance, and then leave due to work? Yes. Nafal itikaf is totally optional. It's totally fine. You don't have to. It's just basically just sitting there. Can a woman ask for divorce if the husband did not pay her mahar and sustenance as a wife? Yes, that seems to be valid grounds. Sheikh Razamani was asked about golden age, and he said it's still the golden age. It's the non-Muslims who thinks Islam has declined. Excellent answer. That's what I was thinking as well. 100%. I think sometimes we think that's it. Islam has gone, and Islam. I think what should happen if there's someone out there who's got money and who's got resources, make a documentary on the achievements of Muslims today in all spheres of life. Yeah, in technology, in politics, in army, in I don't know, in schools, education. I think there should be like documentaries that are showing this because the West has become very famous simply because they're good at PR. That's all it is. Right? Yes, obviously they've got good technology and all that, but the reason why they seem to be the strongest, we haven't seen their weapons, we haven't seen their technology like fully. It's we've seen all the advertisements. The advertisements they exaggerate them, the films they make, and everything like that. So it makes them seem as though they are invincible and they are the ones that should be leaders. Unfortunately, so what we need to do is we need to have a counter marketing strategy for them, which is simply just to show, everything that Muslims have done. And if people made documentaries like this and they made them really good, high quality, I think people would see Muslims in a better light. Just like now, what's happening in Qatar. I mean, if the PR is done really, really good, Muslims would have a really good image around the world. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys agree? Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah, my brother Masir Ali Sahib, kya hal hai? Alhamdulillah, very good, my brother. Nice to see you on Sunday. Abi, the Nikabi, wa alaikum assalam. I'm studying Hidayah and I have no links of English translation. Please help. You have no links of English. You want English translation. I'm not sure if there's any available online. I mean, I have I do Hidayah course on Wednesdays 10:30. If you want to join that, you just have to email at the email below. So send an email to the email below, and inshallah you can join that. That's free of charge to join. And I'll try to look this week for, if you send me an email as well, and I'll try to look for the English translation. What's your opinion on fade haircuts? Jais. That is simple. I thought that was true as well before I started studying, but my mom still doesn't believe me. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just a Pakistan cultural thing. If a woman is at work in short winter days and she ends her period, can she do tayammum for that salat? If it's difficult for her to be able to access water, possibly, yeah, possibly. Was the Zubayrid Khilafah recognized as a legitimate Khilafah? You mean Abdullah bin Zubair? Is that what Zubayrid means? There's a nice paper on this, the decline of the decline paradigm. Ah, okay. The decline of the decline. Interesting. Decline of the decline. Let me check this out. Decline of the decline paradigm. Actually rhymes as well. The fall of decline, the decline paradigm and its lessons. Is that the one? The fall of decline. How can I identify if something counts as perfume in ihram state? Because there are lots of. So again, I've done a crash course on ihram, on Hajj. Check that out, inshallah. So crash course on Hajj and Umrah. Yeah, it's a very easy to follow. So the rule of perfume is basically anything which has a perfume added to it that if you touch it, you can smell it on your body, then that is considered to be breaking the rules of ihram. And anything that has a natural perfume smell, like fruit and things like that, which are secondary, not primary, then it's okay to use that. There's a good channel called Ilm Film about history. Okay, someone I was just yesterday looking into PR. Great minds think alike, although mine isn't that good. PhD Ibn Sina. Yes, PhD Ibn Sina. As you can see, there's no books behind me. Jazakallah khair, you're welcome. Masir Ali, what bab are you on in Hidayah? MashaAllah, this week we've done 100 lessons of Hidayah. Allah, we have reached the Westerners come out with 100, didn't they? Yeah, so Westerners must have come out with like this 100 thing. Once you reach 100, it's like a milestone. So thank you to the West. I have reached my 100th lesson of Hidayah. We done Zakat al-Urud, so business Zakat. This week, alhamdulillah. Business stock. Imran Ahsan Niaz's English translation of Hidayah is very good. Oh yeah, that's a good one. When can you do fard wudu? If you are short on time or there's lack of water. What's the correct opinion on music, Sheikh? I heard Maliki's classy as makruh and Sheikh Hazan. So in a nutshell, it's impermissible unless there is a valid, like a purpose for it, like a ringtone on a phone or something of that nature, like jingles at the beginning of a news broadcast. Question regarding if you can use the water of a camel to do wudu. The water of a camel. What's the water of a camel? I saw someone selling halal soap. I think they meant scentless soap for Hajj. No, it's halal soap. All soaps are halal. So that's true. Yeah, stop this. It's a PR thing. Do you have any knowledge in regards to how legitimate and halal the West Midlands pension fund is? It's the local government pension plan which Birmingham Council use. If you can explain it to me how it works, then I can tell you. If it's basically a state pension, then it's allowed. Irfan B. Wa alaikum salam. I hope you're well. Alhamdulillah, my brother. I'm very good. Zed Melor, if Prophet Adam was the first man created, what were the ancient human bones aged millions of years? So, good question. So, because 1 second, I feel like sneezing, but I'm thinking, should I drink the tea and sneeze or? Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created Adam alayhi salam, okay? And he put him onto earth. Were there any other creatures roaming on earth before Adam alayhi salam was there? Most likely, yes. Yeah, other creatures. Were there any hominoid creatures? It seems as though, although we don't have anything categorical mentioned in the Quran and the Hadith, but it seems from history books, Muslim history books, which they got from other sources, that there used to be hominoids walking on earth. And because bones have been found, it's possible that they could have been. All right, so it's plausible there could have been other types of hominoid creatures, human-like creatures walking around the earth, but they seem to have all become extinct, and Adam alayhi salam was the one, and his progeny continued. Like, you kill the camel and use the water. I think that's a misconception. I don't think camels have water in their hump. I think, yeah, check it out. I think it's a misconception that they have water in their humps. I think the man left over water from a camel. Leftover water from a camel is okay. So if a camel drinks from a bucket of water, the leftover water is okay to use. So what can we read as extra long with our Tuhfatul Atfal Sabak? The text seems very concise. The sample exam. So you can actually look. So you're gonna have to make notes in class. Yeah, if you don't make notes in class, then you're gonna struggle a lot. So you can basically look at my Kuduri videos. Watch my Kuduri videos on that on my YouTube channel, inshallah. Can you apply moisturizer, oil, and perfume just before putting ihram on? Yes, you can. So before ihram, you can use that stuff. Yeah, camels don't have water in there. I think it's it's a rumor, misconception. People think camels have water in their humps, but they don't. It's not like you put a tap in, like you drill a hole and put a tap in, and mashallah, water at the camels. Okay, I think the furthest Homo sapiens bones are dated back to 250,000 years. I think possibly, yeah. Yeah, so like some hominoid sort of creature. I mean, we don't even know when Adam alayhi salam came. That's the truth. We have no idea how many thousands of years ago he came. Assalamu alaikum, Yusuf Sahib. Ahlan wa sahlan, my brother. Ahlan wa sahlan. Hope you are well. I am very good. Thank you very much. What's your thoughts on Tafsir al-Wasit of Tantawi? Very nice, concise tafsir. I haven't gone through all of it to be able to really say, what my thoughts are, but I've just kind of skimmed through a few sections. It's very concise, nice Arabic, easy to follow. Yeah, so I would, have a go reading it, inshallah. Yeah, the thing is, what you should do in tafsirs is ideally study the whole Quran from someone. Just when I say study the Quran, study just the translation of the Quran. That's all. Just a sound translation of the Quran, and then supplement that with extra reading of tafsirs. That's the way you're going to develop and improve your understanding. Also, best beginner Lughawi tafsir on your opinion in Arabic. Lughawi tafsir, I would probably say, yeah, something like Tafsir Munir is very nice, very easy as well. It's like that Wasit, very nice, very easy, simple. Yeah, something like that. Abdul Majid Sahib, क्या हाल है मेरे भाई? Walaikum assalam. Kaif? How was it Leicester today, my brother? Did the people of Leicester honor you today? Have you read Manhaj al-Hanafiya fi Ayat al-Ahkam? Who is it by? Manhaj al-Hanafiya. Who is it by? The camel legend may have started from the legend of Khalid al-Walid crossing the desert. Okay, does it mention there that they drank water from the hump? Alhamdulillah. All right, let's check out some curious cat. Okay, how does an unmarried person learn regarding Islamic marriage intimate matters from reading a book if it makes them release discharge? Would it necessitate wudun ghusl? Would they be sinful for reading halal Islamic marriage books by scholar as it made them release discharge? How is a person supposed to learn about these marriages? Yes, you can read it, even if a person gets aroused. That's the best way to, that's obviously the way that you're going to learn, isn't it? So yes, you can read these, and if there is discharge due to arousal, then you'll have to do wudu. Right. Sheikh, can you drop a video on the best syllabus for self-study following the Nizami route from beginner to advanced level? Inshallah, I'll have to make a video on that, inshallah. Yeah, I'll have to make a video. I don't know any self-study. I don't think there's anything self-study for a person. I never approve of self-study unless you have studied in each subject one book with a teacher, at least. Does water of eternal life exist? Legend says probably that Allah knows best. There's nothing from the Quran or Sunnah to support this. It seems as though, again, it seems to be something that's been passed down from other faiths. They are good people in Leicester, mashallah. Every Muslim house we went to gave, even some Hindu and Sikh houses. Mashallah, mashallah, Sardarjis. Yeah, and did they invite you in for any sort of like desserts or any dal or anything like that? Right. How does an unmarried... Okay, this one. If I deem my menses as complete at dhuhr but delay my ghusl, so must I make up? Yes, you must make it up. Right. Sorry, I worded my previous question wrong. If I deem my menses as complete at the time of dhuhr but delay my ghusl to asr time, yes. Right. Next. I did the dream course. Usually, when we think about a person a lot, we see them in our dream. If we dedicate our more of our time and efforts in learning about the deen of the Prophet, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, could there be a higher possibility? Yes, of course, seeing them in dream. Yes, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum. I'm planning on going 4 months if Allah wills. I don't know Urdu. My question is, do majority of local Pakistanis speak English? Wassalam. I'm not sure in today's time, but when I was there, not many could speak it. What language did you have to speak in when you were studying in Pakistan? I had to speak Urdu. Yeah, I had to learn Urdu basically, because a lot of people in Pakistan can't speak. A lot of people are poor in Pakistan, and unless you live in like a rich area where there's a lot of English education takes place. Okay, Reen, should I ask permission from a scholar when you're reading? Should I ask permission from a scholar when you're reading a book? I mean, do you mean should you ask permission from a scholar? As in, you want to study from a scholar? Is that what you're saying? Are prawns halal? My brother, just go for it, bro. Nice, tasty, juicy. As long as they're juicy. Sunday night today, yeah. Alaikum assalam. Yes, my brother. Because yesterday I was at Mufti Rafi Usmani's event, so that's why, unfortunately. And then after the talk, we had dinner, and then staying with ulama. So it got late. Unfortunately, I had to miss the live stream. Bike ride today was very nice. Solo mission today was on my own. Yeah. So unfortunately, brothers were not feeling well today, so I had to do my own solo mission. So I only did about 19 miles. It was a bit wet as well, and so I had to be a bit cautious, not riding too fast. No, they gave me dirty looks though. Just joking. Is octopus halal? Squid halal? For Hanafi, say that it should be avoided. No, you don't eat it. Other madhabs allow it. Does plagiarism exist in Islamic texts? Yes, people plagiarize, unfortunately. But the thing is, they didn't see as plagiarism. Yeah, it was only when the Westerners came and they defined plagiarism. Are we following the Shafi opinion regarding fish these days because of the Hanafi opinion? La yahillu in tafa. Yeah, Imam Hanifa's opinion, isn't it? Yeah. I don't know. I mean, do we need to follow the Shafi's opinion? Can you remove MSP and najasat haqiqi with any mai'? Yes, you can. So, if you only had coke and your clothes had more than a dirham, yes, that is correct. MSP. What's the reason behind Imam Abu Hanifa and Sahibain's difference of opinion on Asr? Basically, Imam Abu Hanifa rahimahullah has their opinion as well. That's one of his opinions. And their argument, so Imam Hanifa has multiple opinions on this issue, right? So one of them is that Asr can be prayed after one shadow. Second opinion is after two shadows, and the after two shadows one seems to be the one that's reported the most in the books. So it's the stronger position. The Sahibain simply argue that because there are evidences of hadith to show that the Prophet ﷺ did pray after one shadow. That's the argument they're saying. As we don't know if the birds I made sure they were alive before they fried them for our fish and chips. if the birds are. Ahlan wa sahlan, Zahra. Ahlan wa sahlan, wa alaikum assalam. Chew on a clove, see if it helps your cough. A clove, yeah, okay, I'll have to go tomorrow to go to the shops and buy a clove. Thank you very much, Jazakallah khair. I'll see. It's a dry cough, it's just, I don't know, it's just lingering. I mean, I'm fine most of the day, it's just that one or two when I just get it. But yeah, Jazakallah khair for that piece of advice. Someone told me get olive oil, rub it on my chest, and rub it on my back, and actually that was good. That helped. But the only problem is, then obviously everything is greasy, isn't it? MSB Sahibain say one mithal, but does that include fate too? No, not fate. Sadi Nash, ahlan wa sahlan wa alaikum assalam. If Dhuhr Jamaat is just about to start, but I hadn't prayed the Sunnah preceding, is it best to join the Jamaat? Yes, you must join the Jamaat first and then pray the Sunnah later. Zed Miller, was Imam Bukhari shunned by his community? Yes, unfortunately, due to some political issues. Why do Ahna pray Fajr two Sunnah before Fard? Everyone prays it before Fajr. Everyone prays before Fard. I saw you in a dream last night. I invited you to dinner, but you said I don't want to burden you. Allah Akbar. So you didn't eat. You had your black turban on, and then we went to some Islamic event random. That's an excellent dream. Very, very good dream. MashaAllah. So if you saw that dream about me, that dream actually means something good about you. Not necessarily about me, but about you. Inshallah, there's some good, inshallah, knowledge and some good things coming your way, inshallah. Is it disliked to work night shifts if the night is for rest? No. Totally permissible. Yeah, because if the night's for rest, then you can do tahajjud, isn't it? Yeah. So you can do tahajjud, so therefore you can do other things. Yes, my dear. Wa alaikum assalam. كيف الحال يا محمد حسين؟ क्या हाल है मेरे भाई? شمس محمد أهلا وسهلا. أهلا وسهلا محمد شمس مولانا صاحب. What does it mean for makruh time at sunrise to be until qadr rumh or rumhain? So qadr rumh basically means that if you get like you get a spear and you stretch it out, yeah, and you point it at the sun, and you put the spear on the ground, right? So the tip of the spear, if it's where the sun is, that means you can pray now. That's what it basically means. So it's basically like when the sun is above the horizon and you can literally see above. They would measure it. The Arabs would measure it with they had a saying like the sun has reached a rumh or two, and a rumh is like a short spear. Do a room. There's actually a nice video if you go on YouTube and type it in. Like qadr rumh or rumhain. Some guys out there, he's done like a nice video on it, show demonstration. Do a room tour, Sheikh Rami lights. That's it, bro. Oh yeah, I haven't got my nice. All right, look at that rainbow. I saw a dream you were in Jannah with hundreds of hurs. Allah, Allahu Akbar. If that dream is true, guys, my shahada is close. Praying Eid Salah behind a Maliki, Shafi, Hanbali as a Hanafi. Yes, totally permissible. In fact, this is an interesting thing. The Hanafis prayed the first almost 300 years. They prayed the Eid Salat behind other madhabs. Yeah, so Imam Yusuf, rahimahullah, used to pray behind Harun Rashid, and Harun Rashid used to follow Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu's way of praying Eid. So the Hanafis books, if you read them, they'll say, you know, if the Khalifa obviously is a different madhab, then it's fine to pray behind. How authentic is the hadith about the blessing to die on Friday? I'm not sure. I'll have to look into it. Yeah, I'm not too sure. But there are reports, there are hadith about mentioning about shahada on Fridays. Fridays being a day of shahada. Does it mean the tip of the disc of the sun reaches the tip? No. So it means the bottom of it. Yeah, so the bottom of the disc of the sun is at the tip of the spear. You're supposed to say it's about me. Allah. No, bro, I can't give you my horse. But the sun over the spear for Ishraq would depend at least. Yeah, so this is an Arabic saying, isn't it? It's not like everyone's going to test it themselves. It's just like an Arabic saying they have. Yeah, so like they say when the shadow reaches Qadr al-Shiraq of the Na'al. Yeah, so it's just so we understand it according to timings. As long as the disk of the sun is above the horizon, that's it. That's what you have to understand. Wa alaikum assalam, Ian. Is it true for Juma Salah to be valid? It has to be open to public. It has to be enough people there to be recognized as public. Yeah. Nahu or Sarf Sheikh, both. Uzaifa wa alaikum assalam. Ahlan wa sahlan. You're welcome, Zahra Za'a wa Fiqh. Even Shaheeds only get 72. Okay, Salam. I read Maghrib at Birmingham train station today, 24th. When I got, what's this saying? When I arrived, someone was doing Iqama around 3:59. I live in Coventry and checked. Yeah, so, wassalam. Repeat the Maghrib. Okay, so it seems that they prayed earlier. Yeah, just repeat the Maghrib again. So I prayed with them. Look at timetables. Yeah, so repeat the Maghrib again. Wa alaikum assalam. Is it permissible to do drop shipping? For example, I know my products will be permissible. Okay, so wassalam. Will the products be refundable if damaged or not received by customer? Okay. So again, dropshipping questions require a lot of background information needs. Okay, so Assalamu alaikum, Ustad. Please can you answer this in your live stream today? Women receive a lot of pressure. One side is the societal career pressures, and the other side is the push towards women being mothers, wives, homemakers, etc. Too many people saying who and how we should be. What does Islam say on this, please? And how can you balance? Okay, so this is a good question. So basically, look, when it comes to the duties of people on earth, the duties of people on earth obviously are going to be based upon their biological makeup. A man is built stronger than a woman. Clearly, that shows that what a man is meant to be doing is meant to be more strenuous jobs, pressure jobs, jobs that are going to require pressure, competitiveness, these kind of things. And for a woman, she has obviously a biological system in her body. She has a womb. She's going to most likely be giving birth, and then her job is going to be more to do with the child. Right? That's just a natural thing that is. Now, when it comes to obviously building a society, Quran and the Sunnah, they mention basic rules about this. Yeah, as in the woman obviously is going to be bringing up the child in the sense that she's going to be nurturing it, breastfeeding the child, feeding it, and the man is going to be providing for the family. That's the basic sort of like rules. As for can a woman work? Yes, a woman can work. Yeah, as long as her husband gives permission for her to work, it's totally permissible for her to work. But the question is this: is there something which is like a general rule that if, let's say, for example, all men started to take care of children now and the women started to work, would that have a positive impact on the Muslim Ummah in the future? That's the thing that we have to look into. So if all of a sudden everyone flipped roles, men started to bring up the children, so women gave birth, men are bringing up children, and the women are starting to go out and starting to work all day and coming home bringing, would that be considered to be conducive to the Muslim Ummah or not? Just because people do it in the West, it doesn't mean. This is where I would say Muslims really need to think about, do we need to follow what the West is doing? So if the West are walking towards a particular direction, does it mean that we should also consider walking that direction to be something which is something we should do as well? That is where we should be very, very careful, because just because they're doing it does not necessarily mean we should even try to do it. And unfortunately, what I personally seen a lot of this is because now we're living in a society where there doesn't seem to be very much on regards to family matters in the society, bringing up a family, wholesome, and especially with LGBT and pushing all these liberal agendas. I think Muslims have to, men and women both have to be careful about trying to adopt these kind of ways. And unfortunately, now it's like I think it was Matt Walsh. he did he did some sort of like survey or something, and he found out that most women who are actually in careers would love to have just stayed at home. Yeah, and it's just this. There's so many. This is like the Western women saying this. So I think women need to be a bit more. What happened in the past was cultures dictated what job roles you fitted into. So that's why it was okay. People never used to question. And generally women used to just do like just normal, family jobs or stay at home, bring up children, and they were okay that working on farms. Yeah, and they were okay with that. But now obviously living in the West, you got education, you got all these careers options. I don't know the solution to it, but I can just tell you what the basic rules are. Right, next. My mom has trouble washing her feet for wudu, and so does masa over cotton socks. Is this permissible? Uh, is there any way that she can wet her feet? Is there any way that she can wash her feet, like have a bucket of water, dip her feet into that? If she can do that, then no. She cannot. I mean, tell her to get some strong socks, thick socks. Yeah. Ideally, you can get these like hiking socks. Are you a night owl or an early bird? Both, I think. Both. I'll probably stay up reading a lot until late and then wake up early. Is there a certain number of people that need to be present? Um, so generally, you have to look at how many people are there in that place. I mean, generally, for a Juma to be valid, there needs to be three, including the Imam. But, or according to one opinion, four, including the Imam. But I would say you have to look at the situation. Otherwise, what's going to happen is the whole point of Juma is meant to be like a group. It's supposed to be a big event. So everyone's having their small little events. Every household is doing their own Jumas. Then it defeats the purpose of Juma. If there are two people in Jama'ah, one breaks wudu, does the Jama'ah break? Um, okay, there's two opinions. The Hanafis, yes. Then they'll have to pray their salat on their own. Adhan Iqamah can be done for Qada Salats, but should it be done only when a whole group has Qada or an individual too? Uh, I mean, the rule basically is that the ideal way of praying Salat is the Jama'ah. And the one who's praying on their own, it's recommended for them to try and imitate the Jama'ah. So therefore, the one praying on their own should technically do that as well. Is the Hanafi starting of Asr when the shadow is 2 times the length of a stick plus the original shadow? Oh, that was yes. I've actually done a video on this. So check out my times of Salat. I've actually done a video on this that you guys can check out. Okay, chapter of prayer times. Yeah, so check this out. Chapter prayer times. Is there a kitab that identifies the mufta bihi for masail in Quduri Sharif? Yes. There's a book called At-Tasheeh wa Tarjih by Qasim bin Qatlubugha. Yeah, Tasheeh, Tarjih. Yeah. I remember one of the signs on the Qiyamah Sheikh Hamza Yusuf mentioned is movements to corrupt women. Not saying this is about women working or not, but certainly says a lot about the modern feminist ideas. Definitely. I mean, someone like Wael Halak, who's Orientalist, he has said capitalism is designed to disrupt the family. It's designed to make everyone an income, yeah, to design everyone as being like in part of the system to make money. That means breaking marriages, that women should work until they're in their 40s and 50s, and men. So, see, the ideal capitalist system is every individual starts earning and buying from the earliest age possible all the way to the latest age possible. That's the ideal capitalism society. So this is what like China is happening in China. 7 days a week they work, and it's crazy over there. Like these guys work so hard. That is the ideal capitalist way, right? You have no holidays, no nothing. You just work, 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 earn, spend, 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 and that's how the economy is. And that's what they hope. That's what they're gambling on. Just people buying stuff. Can you make masa on socks that only the bottom is leather? Yes, you can. I wish I could have a little sleep and still feel rested and fresh in the morning. Yeah, I wish that too. I wish that too. You know, tell me tell you a thing that would really help. Do not eat fast food. Cut out fast food. Cut out oils from your diet. Eat really healthy food, and you'll see your sleep will become wholesome. Trust me, I've tried that. When a woman is marrying, does the woman need the permission of the father? In a gist, yes. Favorite Quran reciter, Al-Husari. What happened to our salah if someone accidentally walked in front of us? Nothing, your salat's fine. If two people are in jama'ah and I join late and then the original person praying behind the imam realizes he didn't have wudu and leaves the jama'ah, would salah be valid? No, then you have to pray your own salat. No fast food, Maji. No fast food. I don't we eat fast food, but no fast food for you. I received some money from a woman for Qadha Umri as she got well over 10 years of Salah to do but isn't able to. Where can I give this money? So contact the charity organization. Yeah, contact someone like Ummah Welfare and they'll be able to help you on that. Okay, next question. You shared a post. All right. Salam, can you outline the rules regarding mixing of men and women, college, university, work environments, and in regards to opposite gender friendships? What to do when invited to mix? So, if you're invited to a mixed social event, I would say, look, like for example, I am invited a lot of times to mixed social events, right? And the thing is that as long as people are well dressed, as long as you're not sort of like flirting with anyone, then it's allowed, right? That's the general kind of like rule that is. Ideally, there should be a sense of segregation so that women obviously are not violated and there is no temptation of either genders to do anything wrong. That's the idea of segregation. But as long as everyone's well dressed and you like just like in public, there's no segregation in public. When you go down the street, you don't go like down a segregated street leave, or you go to Asda and you go to segregated Asda, or you go on the bus and you go on a segregated bus. It's unsegregated, isn't it? So just imagine like that. Obviously, if it's an Islamic event and they are, there should be more. People should maintain a higher degree of segregation in an Islamic event, just like the Prophet ﷺ in the time of the Sahaba. He used to have the women, the men at the front, women at the back. That was an element of segregation. That was. Um, what to do when invited to social events and motives? Yeah. So again, like if you ask me, that's what I would say. If I know there's going to be dancing there, music there, and stuff like that, then I probably wouldn't go. Yeah. Assalamu alaikum. If Dhuhr Jamaat is just about to start but I hadn't prayed Sunnah preceding, is it best to join the Jamaat? Yes, join the Jamaat. So how important is it to memorize mutun? Would you recommend during early years? Yes, one matan at least try to memorize, or even you don't have to memorize it word for word, but at least try to be able to, like, you can explain the whole matan from your head to someone. Yeah, that's memorization there. So you don't have to memorize word for word, as long as you captured it in your own words. That's also okay. Salam Ustad, is it permissible for me to enter scholarships where a student basically enters their basic information like name, address, school, phone number, and they are entered into a database and the winner is picked? Yes. So that, yes. So gambling is where you give some money towards it and you get that. You shared a post, you are pure in life and death, O Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. What does being pure in death mean? It means that you do not rot or suffer what others suffer after death. Yeah. So basically, Abu Bakr radiallahu anh said that tibta hayyan wa maytan ya Rasulullah means when you are alive you are pure, and when you passed away you are pure. So in other words, normally when people pass away, their body begins to smell and rot and all of that. The Prophet ﷺ was pure. Right. What's your daily meal plan? I actually only eat 2 meals a day. That's what I eat. So I eat breakfast, big breakfast, right? So big breakfast I eat, and then I eat around about 4-ish, 4 o'clock, 4 or 5 o'clock maybe. That's it. So throughout the day I'll have drinks and have like teas and water, and then maybe I might have just sometimes maybe I might have some fruit or something, but no, just two meals a day. It's hard to, not everyone can maintain that. That's the thing. And then you have to eat wholesome food, because if you eat food that's fast food, or then it doesn't really kind of it doesn't digest well. If I am praying salah on my own and someone stood next to me, can I become imam mid salah? Yeah, if they intend praying behind you, then you can become imam. Hit the like, people, guys. MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Kal, when is the ideal time to say mashallah and Allah barik? When basically there's something that you display or you see something which is displayed and you don't want them to get ayn, nadar. Yeah, ayn. So, like someone has a car, you say mashallah. Someone has done an achievement, you say mashallah, Allahumma barik. Yeah. If a person chooses Islam and wants to be a Muslim but his family oppose, is he considered a Muslim already? So if he believes, basically Islam is belief, isn't it? As long as he believes in his heart the tenets of Islam, then he's a Muslim. Edward Bernard was approached by a Marlboro Tobacco Company as they had low sales. He said, "Your problem is that you're only appealing to 50% of the population." Okay, so he organized a ploy at the New York parade. That last event, the last event would be to show stopper, and every newspaper company would take photos. So he hired some women and paid them to push in and smoke as soon as the cameras get ready. Everyone was shocked and said women shouldn't be smoking. And Edward Bernard said to the women to say, "This is not a cigarette, our freedom." And sales went through the roof. SubhanAllah, deceit. Yeah, all of them. This is all the Dajjal system, bro. This is all the Dajjal system. Yeah, deception and what if the person who realized he didn't have wudu made it and then joined the salah later? Yeah, so see, the problem is because it's no longer a jama'ah, is it? So jama'ah's gone. That's the issue. So the person's salat would have to be repeated again. As business person, if I make a deal with a company that may sell in some of their departments haram products, is that permissible? Yes, as long as it's only a small fraction compared to the rest. Is it allowed for Ahnaf to pray the Salah according to another madhab's time? Yes. I remember my teacher at A-levels told me this and I was gobsmacked. He used to teach philosophy but was an atheist. A shame really, as he seemed like a really intelligent man. Yeah, and that's the sad thing, isn't it? It's just usually people like that, they don't accept Islam because they have some other sort of like desire that's holding them back. Didn't seem to know much about Islam though. He thought he did, though I had to correct him multiple. Yeah, that's the usual case. Double cream though, that's worth a meal itself. Yes, I can't stop double cream, my brother. Double cream is the most healthiest thing. It comes from a cow. Reen Army, can you give explanation the reason why Imam Abu Yusuf rahimahullah opinion of allowing forgiving Fajr advance in Adhan, yeah? Before its beginning time? Yeah, so basically he says that in Medina, there used to be an Adhan of Tahajjud. So, in other words, this is the position of the Malikis as well and others. So it's based upon that. The other day in uni prayer hall, some brothers were going to prayer hall. Some brothers were going to pray Asr Jama'ah early time, and we were going to pray Dhuhr Jama'ah. So there would be two Jama'ahs happening at the same time. Different Salah. Okay. What would be the best thing to do in this situation? Because concern is people may come in and join the wrong Salah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know really. What would you do? So maybe just wait for one group to finish and then the other group prays. Is it permissible to vote in competitions like as I'm a celebrity to get out of a higher here via the app to keep your favorite in? So voting is free. You're not giving them any money. Walaikum salam. Possibly, yeah. Possibly. Depends on the terms and conditions. If it's voting in and of itself. But I mean, then again, I mean, is that something you really want? A free thing just because of that? Is there going to be barakah in there? Right. So there might be something that's permissible, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be the best thing for you. Edward Bernard was the nephew of Sigmund Freud. That's why he's messed up. Where did the concept of kalimas come from? First kalima. I mean, the concept came from the Quran and the Sunnah and the time of the Sahaba, obviously, but they were just given names later on. So I don't know exactly when in history they were given names. Yes, these are all from hadith and sayings of scholars in the past. The wisdom of the people of the past was they used to encapsulate important things in Islam in like a saying that would be passed down. and those sayings became integral parts of education in certain countries. So we might think, oh, what's these kalimas? But these kalimas really encapsulate what faith is all about. If you study them carefully, these are like books of aqidah. They've just like compressed concisely a very vast concept in just a few words. Also, does permissibility differ for voting for a winner in the final? Is that allowed? Again, I don't know exactly what the terms and conditions are. Technically, voting is permissible in that kind of situation. When some people say that the segregation is more extreme in the mosque today than at the time of the Sahaba, should one refer to the decline in morality? That's one argument. Yeah, that sounds like a valid argument. What is the literal definition on the term aqidah? Aqidah means something which is tightly knotted. For instance, one mosque has separate parking depending on gender. Yeah, I mean, see, the idea is you want there to be less problems for women. You want there to be, like, let's reword this. How many mere women in the society would like a free space for women that men don't catcall them, or they don't, pervertedly look at them or try to do anything to them? How many women would like that? Do a survey of Muslim women, and that'll be an answer. The idea is it's to protect the rights of the women, it's to protect women. If I'm praying salah in a prayer room in my own, can I intend as imam and pray loud in case? No, you don't have to. So if someone joins, you don't have to intend as being an imam. As soon as someone joins, they can join you. Comes from a cow, so does a beef burger. And so do ribs. And so does fat as well. Is Imam Hanafi regarded as a tabi'i? Yes. How poor is someone to be eligible for zakat? So they have to have less than the threshold of zakat. Yeah. So basically, silver or the gold nisab. So check out my zakat videos. In there, I've explained this. So check out the crash course on zakat. Crash course on zakat. Yeah. So crash course on zakat. Yes, crash course on zakat. All right. So there is. They say Edward Bernard made Freud famous. Before then, Freud's ideas weren't that popular. Bernard was called the father of PR. I see. Yeah, see that? This is what the Dajjal is going to be famous for PR. I first learned about the power of PR when what's his name? Gaddafi. So when Gaddafi died, like he spent loads on PR, like to get his name shown in a positive light. And then I heard Obama. Obama was the first president. That's what I heard the other day. Obama apparently was the first president to have a PR specialist in the White House just to make Obama look good in all his pictures, in the way that he kind of said things. And yeah, and it's amazing how much these people are just concerned about the image, even though they can do all the bad things. Like Obama threw, so many bombs on Muslim countries, but he's seen as being the most calm and relaxed and chilled out. That was all deliberate. And you can imagine if Dajjal comes and he has a powerful PR team. Dajjal can make himself look like the best person in the entire world, the most caring and concerned and all that. Why do some people reject parda or remove gender separation? I don't know really. I think basically what they're trying to do is they're trying to accommodate for how this society, the Western society, so they're trying to find a middle ground, right? So they're trying to find, okay, how should we do this so that it fits in and people acclimatize to in this society. I personally think that's the main reason. So they don't want to seem to be very conservative. But now, I mean, did you hear about, like, there was a few years back where there was a case in America, Wall Street, where where women were now filing court cases against men for simply just touching them inappropriately or their hair or something, and now like men were refusing to stay in the same room and office with another woman just in case she might accuse him of indecent actions, and this is a big thing. So you see, they understand segregation. Can women do their own Juma prayer with no men? Technically yes, but it wouldn't be the ideal thing. Okay, all right. I'm gonna finish in a bit, guys. There's a group called Al-Ahbash. They make takfir on people like Ibn Taymiyyah and those who attribute. Would recommend studying with them. I mean, yeah. I mean, I would avoid. First of all, study with people that you trust. Then after that, if you wanna study with someone else, that's up to you. I would always say, always first of all, start off your tradition studying by studying with people you trust. Because if you study by people outside, you're always going to be affected by knowledge or information that's toxic, and then you'll have to uneducate yourself, and that's a hard thing to do. I don't like beef. No beef. My brother Muhammad. Yeah, Maji, we're gonna have to be careful of him. What's your opinion on marrying outside the culture? Totally fine. أهلا وسهلا Zaid. Dean, do you know someone called Mona Harun Sidat from Blackburn? Yes, I know him very well. Freud wrote a book on Moses and monotheism, but I don't know what he said in it. He also wrote on dream interpretation book. But I'll stick to your course. Yeah, I heard he wrote things as well about that. So his basically understanding was that the dreams, like the subconscious, is basically a manifestation of your desires inside. That's what it is. Has no reality. It's just inside all the desires, hidden desires that you have. It was that. Can you recommend a full-time Islamic Arabic school for a 31-year-old male? I don't know. Where do you live, brother Amir? Body language is huge amongst politicians. Just look at Obama and Putin walking, very purposeful, shoulders back, high, yeah, and the clothing they wear, how they wear it, the color they tie, and everything. After the Me Too, yeah. To be honest, it's mad weird. I've heard that even the stuff that occurs, it opens floodgates for zina. Thoughts on Shams al-Ma'arif? I haven't come across that book. What's the best tafsir in your opinion? The best tafsir is multiple ones. The one that I like, you mean? I don't know what the best tafsir is because there is no best tafsir in the world. But okay, the one that I like is Ruh al-Ma'ani. Okay, guys, I am gonna finish it there. My tea has gone cold as well. I will see you guys next time, inshallah. Thank you very much for watching. You can see the red Q&A sign in the corner there. Hope you guys have a fantastic week. You're from New York, yeah? So Masir Ali, help brother Amir find the best place. Help brother Amir. Masir Ali is from New Jersey. So inshallah, he should be able to help you with that. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you. Ameen, ameen, ameen. All right, guys, take care, inshallah. Remember me in your du'as. Have a wonderful, and check out my videos. I make videos every day of the week almost on various topics. And also, I have a YouTube channel. Obviously, this is it. And I also have a website, uruk.com, which you guys can check out as well. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Very cool, high production value, Sheikh. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum.